So I'm on the journey to master all of the skills of Fortnite. I previously mastered my aim, but it was now time to master building. In this video, I spent over 30 hours mastering 13 different types of builds and massively improved my building. Before the video starts, please use my code DrewFN1 and please consider liking the video and subscribing. If this video gets 100 likes, I will make a video of me mastering editing. Okay, enjoy the video. To master a build, I will have to do 100 times in a row. Some skills later in the video are more complex than others, so I will only do them 50 or even 25 times in a row, because it would take way too long to do them 100 times in a row. I started the video by practicing all types of tarping, and the first one was obviously normal tarping. I did all of these on 50% speed, 70% speed, and normal speed, because the slowest speeds will help me with my crosshair placement. It only took me 5 minutes to get it on normal speed, and then I found out that you can add a timer on this map, so it made it much easier to keep track of the time. On 70% speed, it only took 8 minutes, and then I got 92 in a row about 10 minutes in, and it took me another 29 minutes to get 100, which I actually ended up getting 113. And this made me realize how these little mistakes will cause me to take much longer to master a build, but I officially mastered normal tarping. So now I decided to do normal tarping but with bots shooting, and I decided to do it 25 times in a row. But this took me so long because I basically needed to get 375 perfect tarps, because one mistake and I was dead. I died at 17 minutes in, and it took me like 10 minutes just to get there. But I finally got it after 2 hours and 11 minutes. So next I did right and left diagonal tarping. I started with right, which took me 4 minutes on 50% speed, 6 minutes on 70% speed, and 15 minutes on normal speed. And then I also did this one with the bot shooting, and I got 4 minutes in, and was easily able to get it only 12 minutes in. So next I did on the left side, and both 50 and 70% took only 7 minutes, and then I did on normal speed, which took 22 minutes. And for some reason they didn't have bots on this one, so I couldn't do it. So I have now mastered diagonal tarping as well. Next I practiced tarping upwards. This one you have to place stairs below and above you and place walls on the right and left side of you. This one was much harder and it took 15 minutes on 50% speed, 24 minutes on 70% speed, and 33 minutes on normal speed. And this one also didn't have bots. So I have now officially mastered tarping upwards. And I am now on to my last type of tarping, which is side tarping, which is good if you don't have many mats. I did this one going to the right and to the left, and it started with going to the right, which took 6 minutes on 50% speed, 10 minutes and 30 seconds on 70% speed, and I actually did it in less time on normal speed, only taking 7 minutes. So now I was going to the left, and I got it on my first try on 50% speed, only taking 3 minutes. And then it took me 8 minutes and 30 seconds on 70% speed, and then 14 minutes on normal speed. So I've now officially mastered every type of tarping, and we are now 6 hours and 17 minutes into the challenge. I then did all the tarping again, which I'm just going to quickly pop up all the times on screen because you already saw me do them all. But it took me to a little over 7 hours in. So we are now onto high ground retakes and just any other type of build. So the first high ground retake I'll be practicing is this, and it's kind of like half an upward tarp because I place a ramp above and below me, but I only place a wall on one side of me, and then I place a wall in front of me. I started on the right side, and it only took me 5 minutes on 50% speed, and then 17 minutes on 70% speed. Then on normal speed, I had to go after 20 minutes, and when I got back, it took me another 15 minutes. So in total, it took 35 minutes. So now I was doing it on the left side, and it was definitely a little harder, and it took me 8 minutes and 30 seconds on 50% speed, 11 minutes on 70% speed, and 41 minutes on normal speed. And I have now officially mastered the first high ground retake. So next, this isn't really a high ground retake, but it is a start on 1v1s to get high ground more consistently. I started by just practicing the first half of where I had to jump perfectly here and place a floor and ramp and then do a legless 90. After a little over 15 minutes, I started also doing the second half, which was 2 90s and then whatever this is. And it ended up taking me an hour and 6 minutes on 50% speed to get it. But it took a much shorter amount of time on 70% speed, only taking 19 minutes. And on normal speed, it took 56 minutes and 30 seconds, which is still 10 minutes shorter than half speed. So once I got the hang of it, I was able to do it consistently. And I have now officially mastered my start to 1v1s. So the third high ground retake I did is this. I didn't know exactly how to do it, but I've seen many other people use it to take high ground. This one was pretty difficult, and this map didn't go below 50% speed, so I switched to a different map to go on 25% speed. And I spent about 10 minutes on that map and started to understand how to do it. I had to do a double edit, place a wall in front and to the side of me, and then place a cone above me, and then re-edit my cone from the double edit that cone into a ramp, and lastly place a floor above me, and then do it all again. So it was definitely complicated but crucial to help me take high ground from my opponents. On 50% speed it took me almost 21 minutes, and then on 70% speed it took me 42 minutes and 30 seconds, but for some reason I couldn't clip when it happened, so I had to record this on my phone. But next I did it on normal speed and it took me 2 hours, 17 minutes and 30 seconds. This was by far the longest I've spent on one of these builds, but I think it's safe to say that I've mastered another high ground retake. So the next high ground retake I'll be mastering is this little side jump thing. For this one I have to do a side jump, place walls all around me, and then place a ramp above and below me, and then do it all again. So this one is pretty simple, and it only took me 11 minutes and 45 seconds on 50% speed, 35 minutes and 30 seconds on 70% speed, and it took me an hour and 15 seconds on normal speed. And I have now officially mastered another high ground retake. So the next one isn't actually a high ground retake at all, but I still think it's important. For the next one, I practiced pre-firing a shot, and then editing my cone, and then the wall next to me, and then creating another box. I feel like this one is pretty important, and it's not that hard to learn. It only took me 5 minutes to get on 50% speed, 11 minutes on 70% speed, and only 19 minutes and 30 seconds on normal speed. And I have now officially mastered another build type. The next high ground retake I'll be mastering is another side jump where I place a wall and a floor, only do a single edit, and then do a side jump, place walls and floors, do another little side jump, place ramps and 2 cones, and then make a box. This one isn't too difficult, and it took me 12 minutes and 20 seconds on 50% speed, 27 minutes and 50 seconds on 70% speed, and 34 minutes and 45 seconds on normal speed. So I have now officially mastered another high ground retake. The next high ground retake that I'll be practicing is a little more complex than the last one, but it's still not too difficult. For this one you have to place a floor and a cone again, and then edit the floor, and then place walls all around you, edit the wall in front of you, place a ramp, turn around, place another ramp, and then place a cone, edit the cone like this, and then place walls all around you, and a ramp above and below you, and then edit the wall and make a box around the cone, and then re-edit the cone. I know it sounds like a lot, but trust me, it's not that difficult to learn. It took me 12 minutes and 30 seconds on 50% speed, 22 minutes and 45 seconds on 70% speed, and then 44 minutes and 25 seconds on normal speed. And I have now officially mastered another high ground retake. So the next thing I will be practicing is kind of a high ground retake, but it's more to cover shots from your opponents. All I'm going to be doing is placing walls to my right and behind me, and then placing a cone above them while I ramp up. So it's not that complicated. And it didn't take long, taking only 13 minutes and 25 seconds on 50% speed, 15 minutes on 70% speed, and 23 minutes and 20 seconds on normal speed. And I've now officially mastered another high ground retake. And I was now on to my last high ground retake. And this one I will be doing on the right and left side. For this one you have to do a double edit, place a wall in front and to the right or left, and then edit the side wall, and then place a cone and 2 walls, and then edit that cone and do it all again. This one took 12 minutes and 55 seconds on 50% speed, 34 minutes and 15 seconds on 70% speed, and on normal speed I had to go after about 32 minutes and 50 seconds, and it took me another 21 minutes and 10 seconds to get it, taking a total of 54 minutes. So now I was going to the left, which I was definitely more uncomfortable with at the start, and it took me 19 minutes and 30 seconds on 50% speed, but then I actually started to get the hang of it because it only took 28 minutes and 23 seconds on 70% speed, and on normal speed it only took about 35 minutes and 22 seconds. So that is all of the builds I will be learning, and I am only 21 hours into the challenge. So you may be asking, what am I doing for the next 10 hours? And my answer to that is, well, I will be doing it all again to truly grandmaster bait all of the builds. I will be doing the time that I got on the normal speed, not the slower speeds. And for some reason, basically all the tarping clips disappeared other than the side tarp to the left. And I'm not doing them again, so you are just going to have to trust that I did them. And I have now grandmastered all of the tarping techniques. But we are now moving on to the height retake / miscellaneous. And if you made it this far into the video, type mastery and your username and I will add you on Fortnite. Thank you so much if you have made it this far. But I was now finally onto the end of this challenge, 31 hours, 23 minutes, and 39 seconds in. And I am so grateful I did this challenge because I can truly see my building improving in games. And I have now officially mastered everything in Fortnite. So thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't already, please subscribe and like the video. Because if we hit 100 likes, I'll be mastering my editing. Okay, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.